In the year 1927, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, was imprisoned in communist Russia. And he was actually given the death sentence. Miraculously, they ended up taking away the death sentence and putting him in exile. They ended up taking away the exile itself, and he had a complete victory. They let him go completely free. But it was a strenuous time. It was a stressful time. They were torturing him. Well, what did he do wrong? What did he do that was so bad? Well, he was keeping the flame of Judaism alive in communist Russia, and that was highly illegal. He had underground yeshivas and Torah academies and learning centers and shuls, and they wanted information so they could find and dismantle these. Dismantle the flame of God, the flame of truth, the flame of Torah. And he wouldn't allow that to happen. Very often when a person goes through a traumatic experience, you slow down afterwards, but that wasn't the Frierdiker Rebbe, that wasn't Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson. There was like this explosion, if you will, in teachings of Chassidus. There was this renewed energy in doubling efforts in spreading the flame of Judaism, the flame of Torah, and spreading light and love of God. It became even more so once he had come to America not too long afterwards. Where did he get the strength, the resilience to remain strong under the oppressive conditions, with all the torture and threatening and psychological torture, everything? How did he remain so strong? So he actually shared what kept him going. He said, there was one thought that kept me going under these very harsh, difficult conditions while in this prison cell, and while being tortured, and while under the threat of getting the death penalty and being exiled from my family and community. There was one thought that kept me going. And that was thinking about the Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov's position in understanding Hashgacha Pratis. Hashgacha Pratis means God's involvement in this world. And there's a range of discussion. There's a discussion as to what extent God is involved in our world. And how much free choice do we have? How much does he leave to human beings? And how much is he involved? And the Baal Shem Tov strongly asserted that God is not just managing the world from a distance like chess pieces, but God is intimately involved in every single micro part of creation. That's Hashgacha Pratis, which literally translates as specific supervision. God's supervision is detailed, is specific. God is supervising everything, not just mankind, not only animal or plant life, but even inanimate existence. God is involved in everything. And the Frierdiker Rebbe said, thinking about this gave him life, gave him hope. How? The reason is because the Baal Shem Tov believed that God's involvement in every micro detail of creation means that every micro detail of creation is relevant. Not only relevant to God, but relevant to the purpose for which God created the world, to make this place a home for peace, a home for love, a home for truth, a home for God's sacredness, a place where God can feel comfortable. Every single detail in creation is relevant to this. Everything. Which is why in Judaism, by the way, we're so detail-oriented. Jewish law is quite detail-oriented. It's like splitting hairs. Jewish practice is very much involved in behavior and very much involved in the inanimate world and not just the spiritual side of things, because God has to rest everywhere and be comfortable in every single part of life. And the Frierdiker Rebbe said, thinking about this, thinking about how God wants to be involved in everything in creation, and that how it's all part of his master plan, gave him strength to the point that he was not only able to survive being imprisoned, but being imprisoned at that moment was part of the process of bringing God even to the prisons and even to the isolation. With that attitude, when he left, he came out with even greater passion, greater fervor, and most importantly, greater impact. If you're going through a hard time, if you're going through tough times, think about how God is in the details of your life. And think about how being detail-oriented in our relationship with God can actually give us even more strength. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.